Mussman, a plastic and reconstructive surgeon at ARMC, joins us this morning. Good morning, Dr. Mussman.
Thanks for having me on, Kelsey.
How are you today?
Fantastic.
Now, you are here to tell us about skin cancer, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, so how are some ways that people get skin cancer? What causes it?
Well, exactly. This is an important conversation to have, especially with summer on the horizon.
Right.
Skin cancer, amongst all cancer types, is the most preventable, most detectable, and most treatable cancer of all the types. And so prevention, which is what we should talk about first, especially with summer approaching, focuses primarily around sun protection, or protection from harmful rays in the case of tanning booths. Sun protection, it's thought by most experts, most of our sun damage occurs before the age of 20 years of age. So skin cancer might be a disease of the elderly primarily, although that's changing with the ozone layer and also tanning beds. But the prevention really needs to happen when children are playing at the beach this summer and playing outside, and when you're young and sort of invincible. These are not things that you think of. But sun protections become the new bike helmet. You know, in California where I trained, most kids at the beach are now wearing these quick-drying rash guards. That's a mechanical block, and then sunblock should be incorporated into everyone's daily routine to both prevent skin cancer, but also sun damage that causes rapid aging. And that should be a part of brushing your teeth, doing your hair, normal hygiene in the morning, applying sunblock before you leave for the day. These 15 minutes between walking from your car to the office or walking to school or recess, these all add up to cumulative sun damage that, especially in the Caucasian population, can lead to skin cancer later on in life.
What SPF would you suggest that people put on every day?
Excellent question. I get that question all the time. I always suggest SPF 30 and above, but we really need to flip the label around and look at the ingredients. Very frequently, the cheaper skin or sun screens, which would be the technical term for it, although they're often called sunblocks in the label, will have chemical names like benzoin in it, and those need to be activated by the sun for about 10 to 15 minutes before they even start to work, no matter what the number is. People need to look for a zinc oxide in the ingredients. That's a mechanical block. It works immediately upon application. It's a little bit more expensive, but much, much more effective.
And so 30 and below, that doesn't really do much for you?
It does something. Anything's better than nothing, absolutely. I'd recommend mechanical barrier, hats, quick-drying shirts, especially at the beach, or sleeves that at least cover down to the wrist, and then sun application on the hands. And on top of that, especially on the ears, I frequently see skin cancers on the tops of the ears, especially in the farming population or people that have spent a lot of times outdoors, especially sportsmen. And so make sure you get the ears and the top of the head, of course.
So if you're a teen maybe right now that's tanning for prom, that is something that, a 15-year-old shouldn't be exposing their skin to something like that?
Right. It's still highly regarded in our society as of youth and vitality to show the healthy tan. However, that person will very rapidly age and look much older than their counterpart very early in life. And so the tan now will look very, very bad later and is almost irreversible. In one large study, basal cell cancer, which incorporates 90% of skin cancers, people that tan, adjusting for all other variables, were 2.5 times more likely to contract basal cell cancer and 1.5 times more likely to contract squamous cell cancer, which is the other most common skin cancer type.
Now, what would you suggest, how would someone, if something's suspicious, how would they find a sign for skin cancer?
Right, skin cancer, you have to have awareness of your body, and oftentimes skin cancers that are the worst are on the back. If you have somebody that can check your back for you, that's good, or your primary care physician can do a full skin check during your annual physical. But frequent signs of skin cancer are bleeding, crusting, changing lesion, growing. Frequently people ignore these things thinking, I must have bumped that lesion. And then they don't remember the bump, but they just attribute it to that, and the skin cancer grows bigger and bigger when it should have been easily treated when it was smaller. But the most common sign of skin cancer, common symptom of skin cancer, I should say, is itchiness. Most people don't realize that. When a lesion becomes very itchy, that could be a sign that's becoming a vertical growth pattern deeper into the skin, it's a good time to figure out what's going on there.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here today. And if you're looking for a consultation or treatment of a suspicious skin lesion, call 989-356-5230.